Hello and welcome to this history tutorial on the Treaty of Versailles. This is for Edexcel GCSE Weimar and Nazi Germany. Today we will cover the terms of the Treaty of Versailles and how they were agreed, including the impact of the treaty on Germany, including loss of territory, reduction in its armed forces, the economic impact and being forced to accept the blame, as well as the reasons why the Treaty of Versailles was so unpopular with the people of Germany. The First World War ended with the signing of the armistice in November 1918. However, it took until June 1919 for the Allies to agree on a peace treaty. The German government were not invited to discussions, which took place at Versailles in France, so the treaty became known as the Treaty of Versailles, or Diktat, an order forced on a country or person by someone in power, as it became known in Germany. The people of Germany had high hopes that the peace treaty would be fair, as they believed that all countries were to blame for the start of the war, and Germany had removed the Kaiser and set up a democratic government at the request of the Allies. They therefore believed that the Allies would offer support and not punish Germany for a war that was the Kaiser's responsibility. When the Allies assembled at Versailles in 1919 to draw up the treaty, it soon became clear that the Germans were not going to get what they wanted. Despite the American President Woodrow Wilson wanting to protect Germany's future, the French Prime Minister Georges Clemenceau wanted revenge and to make sure that Germany could never threaten France again. The British Prime Minister, David Lloyd George, did not want to completely destroy Germany, as Clemenceau demanded. He just wanted a just peace that would be tough enough to please the British people, who wanted to make Germany pay, but would leave Germany strong enough to trade with Britain in the future. The terms of the treaty that were agreed, though, imposed extremely severe terms on Germany. The terms of the treaty can be grouped together and easily remembered using the acronym LAM: Land, Army, Money, Blame. In terms of land, Germany lost 13% of its land in Europe. For example, Alsace-Lorraine was given back to France. Other land Germany lost included the Polish corridor and West Prussia to Poland. Germany was not allowed to unite with Austria, and they also lost their overseas colonies to the Allies, including Togoland in Africa. For army, the German army could not be bigger than 100,000 soldiers. No German air force was allowed, and the German navy could only have 6 battleships, 6 cruisers, 12 destroyers, and 12 torpedo boats. No submarines were allowed. In terms of money, Germany had to pay reparations, money paid for war damage, of 6.6 billion to the Allies, and the treaty took away almost 50% of Germany's iron reserves and 15% of its coal reserves. Finally, for blame, Germany had to accept the blame for starting the war through Article 231, the War Guilt Clause. The Treaty of Versailles was agreed by the Allies and presented to the Germans to sign. Germany had no choice but to sign, as refusal would have meant a continuation of the war. On the 28th of June 1919, the German representatives reluctantly signed the treaty. The Treaty of Versailles was very unpopular in Germany, as they were forced to sign it and accept the terms. Many believed the treaty was unfairly harsh. The military restrictions left Germany defenceless, territorial losses split Germany in two, and financially, losing resources made it hard to pay reparations and pushed Germany towards bankruptcy. The treaty was seen as a stab in the back, as the army was never defeated but betrayed. The new Weimar government became known as the November Criminals for signing the armistice, and the blame was directed at the new government and not the Kaiser. In summary, the Treaty of Versailles was seen as a diktat and imposed very severe peace terms on Germany. These included land. Germany lost 13% of its land in Europe. For example, Alsace-Lorraine was given back to France. Army. The German army could not be bigger than 100,000 soldiers. Money. Germany had to pay reparations of 6.6 billion to the Allies. And blame. Germany had to accept the blame for starting the war. Unsurprisingly, the Treaty of Versailles was very unpopular in Germany, and many believed the treaty was unfairly harsh. The treaty was seen as a stab in the back, as the army was never defeated but betrayed. The new Weimar government became known as the November Criminals for signing the armistice, and the blame was directed at the new government, not the Kaiser. To get further help, visit history.outwood.com, see your teacher in school, or check out quiz.outwood.com for those sweet revision quizzes. You can also follow the Outwood Humanities team on Twitter at @OGATHumanities. Until next time, that was a little bit of history.